Assuming American Nightmare. Hope I didn't lose too much data when the game decided to crash. One can only hope. Telescope. Okay, so I don't think I lost too much. I think I'm good. I think I can move upwards. Turn up my volume a little bit. There we go. Wonder if we're gonna have to do the nonsense with the valves again. Per usual, my FPS is garbage. But that's what happens when your computer is not as good as it could.
Stories come naturally to us. We can't help it. There are many different worlds, many competing realities within our heads, fueled by books, television, even barely remembered childhood tales. There's an endless supply of fictional concepts more familiar to us than anything or anyone real.
I still can't break
we have a far greater connection to the fictional characters we know and love than the random people we pass on the street. Our destinies and inspirations are shaped by lies, myths, and fables.
I'm gonna give up my freaking crossbow. You are out of your dang mind, game. I think I've got what I can get now.
It's you! How dare you! No, wait. It isn't you, is it? I suppose you'd better come in. I'll unlock the door.
Thanks.
Everyone's remembering stuff on this time. Oh, TV. TV.
I know what you're thinking. Evil twin, supernatural powers. But most of the time, I just like to keep things basic. I want you to understand that.
I'm gonna beat the crap out of you.
Like this. Need to get your hands dirty?
Don't tell me that you're
No
about
batteries,
to murder
no
another
moving parts,
person.
just physics. That's technology you can depend on. It's a classic.
Can you just not?
Speaking of classics, you need to be careful with this one, though. If the victim suddenly twists, you might end up cutting yourself. It's not really a workhorse, but I'm a sucker for this style.
What is your problem?
Now, this is more like it. You've got slip-resistant grip. Believe me, you really want that traction once you're wrist deep in somebody. The blade's stiff enough so it won't open by accident in your pocket, but it's still really easy to open with just one hand. Now that's a big thing for me. I know what you're thinking. It's too big, too heavy. But sometimes you just need the extra oomph. If you're talking intimidation, this is gonna do the job. Also great for dismemberings and whatnot. You know, the messy jobs.
This is the weirdest.
I can't tell you how many things I've MacGyvered with this stuff. Okay, now, guns. Not a big fan. I mean, how are you supposed to really connect with somebody with a bullet? I want you to understand that.
I'm getting it based
I
on
take
murder
pride in what I do.
from my
We
evil
can't both
twin
be
at the
worthless
moment.
hacks,
Okay.
can we?
That happened. Is it outside? I think it's outside. Dang it.
You'll have to forgive me, but this feels very strange. It seems like this has all happened before.
I have the replacement part for your telescope, Doctor.
All right. Let's get it installed.
Can I go back outside? There's a page up there. Oh, right. Wrong elevator spot.
I think we can give this a go, although I have this strange feeling that something will go wrong.
Don't start it up yet. There's a problem with the coolant system.
Yes,
Let me guess,
that's
I have to
right.
start back.
I remember. All right, let me think. If they're sabotaging it, they'll be at the primary coolant pipe outside. If you can secure it, we should be ready to pick up the signal. That is why you're here, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'll take care of it.
Before you go, if you have the time, I'd appreciate if you came up here and explained a few things. All of this is very strange to me.
Yeah, no problem, Doc. Or ma'am, or is she a doctor? I don't even know. Gonna head up and go through her dialogue, then I'll head outside, get that page that's on my radar, and secure primary pipes.
Hello.
I don't quite know what's going on, but I seem to remember having had this encounter before.
It's not deja vu, Doctor. This has happened
Yes,
before.
Doctor.
We're caught in a time
This is what happens when I don't play it.
Utterly insane. How could that
Yeah.
be?
24
I
hours.
can't really explain it. I suppose I could call it magic.
I don't believe in magic.
Neither do I. But I can't argue with what I've experienced. Listen, what matters now is the signal. The last time we only caught a part of it. I need the rest of it. Whether you believe me or not, you want to look into this as much as I do, right?
Yes. All right.
I realize that you have trouble believing this.
That's an understatement. I can't deny that what you say resonates with me on some level I don't pretend to understand. But for all I know, I'm simply delusional.
But it's not just you. I've experienced the same thing as you. Doesn't that prove something, at least?
Maybe.
Here I am reloading my
On the other
gun while
hand, given
talking
your
to her.
appearance and the fact that you're trying to convince me that I'm not insane, perhaps you're merely a hallucination that accompanies my delusions.
You're not having a psychotic episode, Doctor. For what it's worth, I'm a skeptic by nature. I completely understand your reluctance to believe me.
There are people caught so deep in their psychosis that they retroactively manufacture memories and beliefs that conform to the situation at hand.
Sure, but you have to stop second-guessing yourself at some point, if you want to get something done.
Alright, conversation with her done. Time to go accomplish crap. First I'm headed this way. That's where the page is, I see it. Oh, one more combat ship. I don't know the manuscript pages. Wonder if I'll have enough after I pick up this one. Oh, no.
The Taken may well
not
be the
30.
tool the darkness favors over any other. At some point, they used to be human, but whatever humanity they once had is long gone. Now they're just shells covered and filled by darkness. The Taken Mr. throws at me are more grotesque and varied than the ones I first encountered in Bright Falls. But I know how to deal with them. I'd be lying if I said they don't frighten me. But I've survived worse. I can't let them stop me.
Yeah, you go, Alan. I think I get lost in the dark place somewhere. And I think that those 4 are on a 3rd loop or something. So somewhere there's that last page. I don't know where it is. I have to get back down there. Whoops. Directions are not my strong suit. That page I'm missing isn't actually from the last loop and blocked out of it. Is that a little irritating? I don't know if that was meant to stop me, but it was meant to stop me. It did a poor job of that. Pretty certain that you're attacking this, so I'm probably about to get attacked. Oh, that's right. Change weapons. Fudge. That was my own dumb fault. That's what I get for switching weapons and forgetting that I did that. Oh man, do I have to re-obtain that one page? Okay, no I don't. Still got the nature stories. Or I still have whatever one I just got. Swap to that and switch to flashback. Wait, if I get the corner, I Can pop off one of those. Oh, that's right. There we go. Forgot that crossbow's 2, not 1. Dodge with terrible frames per second. That does take care of it. Have some ammo. Already got the radio last time. Or it crashed. Into here.
These beings hate the light, am I correct? You should be able to turn on the lights and secure the area that way.
Doctor, can you hear me? I think we're good
Keep
to go.
them unlocked. Make sure Dr. Meadows can take another look at the dot.
Please, head back.
Oh, that's not good. That is not good at all.
They didn't like that.
Think. Went to Dr. Meadows. Which one this way? Try to see them. Oh, whoa!
He's trying to kill me.
Yeah! No kidding about that. It is really freaking determined to kill me. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. Oh my gosh. You can see page marks, but flare because that'll be here. And I should focus on getting to her eye side. Lost in the dark place.
After my disappearance, they thought I was dead. I might as well have been. I know it's been 2 years. I know Alice has moved on. I've tried to find a way back to her, back to my life, but escaping the dark place is almost impossible. Time does strange things here, but dreams and radio signals can pierce the veil between the worlds. I catch glimpses and echoes of the world. Sometimes I send messages out. I can only pray that they hear them.
wants to lay there. That is up here. Oh my gosh. You can't die on me. I need your light. Risking my gosh dang life for this manuscript page. Oh, this is that one. That one I already had. Not enough manuscript pages still. I think I've got all the ones that I can obtain on this one.
It's working. Please, come up here.
Yep, after I restock. I'm like never low on batteries in this one. Like ever. I don't think I've ever even gone below 9, and 10 is your max.
Find the signal?
Yes, I don't think it's quite the same thing we had, the last time. Still, we're definitely picking it up.
Are we getting the complete signal now?
I'm afraid not. Take a look at this. I'm printing out a hard copy now. I'd like to ask you a question or two before that, though, if you don't mind.
What's on your mind, Doctor?
Most people would find these events extremely disturbing, provided that they survive these creatures, that is. You seem to be quite adept at dealing with the situation. Why is that?
Because I've already gone through
Yes,
this crap.
I was involved in... It's a complex story. I was in this small town, and a horrible thing from another dimension kidnapped my wife and manipulated me into writing this horror story that came true. I learned to fight it with light, and I managed to contain it and free my wife. But I was trapped in its world.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Absolutely. So, I'm used to reality working in strange or even impossible ways. And I fought these things, not exactly like this, but close enough for a good while now. Of course, I have certain advantages. Was there anything else?
What did you mean when you said you have advantages?
At the risk of sounding like a lunatic, reality is much more fluid than people think. It can be influenced.
I didn't take you for a mystic.
I'm not. I'm a writer. And under certain conditions, I can, for lack of a better word, rewrite reality. Change things.
That's absurd.
But it works.
Assuming I believe this, why don't you simply, I don't know, write yourself some superpowers?
It's not quite that simple. You need to follow certain laws of drama, I suppose. You need to think about consistency and symbolism. Often what you write isn't anywhere near as important as what you imply. There are things out there that will take advantage of your mistakes.
You really believe in this?
I've gone through crap, lady. I have gone through things.
I will gladly admit that something exceedingly strange is going on. But this idea that you're somehow altering reality with your writing is ridiculous. You're essentially saying you're controlling my actions. Leaving aside the rational arguments against this, what gives you the right?
Well, it's more like having a destiny. A path you're on. You're not aware of it, but there it is. If somebody changes it, what difference does it make? It's what every writer does. If you write something that affects one of the characters, they don't really know about that.
I'm not a character. Are you saying that it's all right to take advantage of someone if they aren't aware of it?
Look, all I meant was that if you're genuinely making all your own decisions, and those decisions lead to whatever destiny you have, what practical difference does it make?
I suppose that depends on whether our destinies are determined by things like physics and probabilities, or natural reality, which is presumably neutral and impartial, or by some kind of an intelligence. If it's the latter, that intelligence makes choices based on some criteria. If we suffer as a result of those choices, there's a moral and ethical element involved, regardless of whether we're aware of its manipulations. Wouldn't you agree?
You're taking this very well. I thought you'd be hangry.
I suppose I would be if I thought you could actually do this.
I mean, hate to break it to you, but...
Another printout. Another signal fragment. The message is still not complete.
Alright,
But it's
I
another
am willing to
piece
bet that
of the weapon
we really will
he
be
has
going
built
through a
against
third
his
time.
adversary. Mere words on a piece of paper, but in the right hands, they will hold back the darkness.
Back to the theater.
The
Damn,
last
a
time the man
documentary!
came to the drive-in, it did not end well. He hopes to avoid that fate this time. He hopes that what he has brought with him to this place is
I would
enough.
love that movie. We gotta... Oh my gosh, yes, we're not gonna have to first interact with her. We're gonna get to help her out first instead, thank heavens. That was so creepy.
Ugh. Serena's probably out of her mind again. But I'm gonna need that key so I can get the power back on.
Holy cow. I think I missed the Grenadier the last time.
To change the world, you must craft a blueprint for the new reality.
I'll have to
Any work of art will do, as long as it's a genuine act of creation. That's what the energies of the dark place respond to. The results may be subtle and perplexing, or far-ranging and momentous. My area of expertise, the written word, gives much more precise results than music or interpretive dance would, for instance.
interpretive dance.
But words can be extremely dangerous. What you define may become reality, but so can that which you imply, even if you don't realize you're doing so.
Oh, I am going to have to interact with her. Ah,
Okay.
you need psychological help.
I'm really just here to get the keys so I can get the power back on.
Do you want to hold me down? It's okay. I know you like that.
Yeah, I'll just grab the keys.
I could be like your wife. Little wifey.
I already
waiting at
have a
home for
wife.
hubby. Or you could be the mailman. Or the neighbor.
I'm already married to someone who isn't crazy, thanks. I'm just gonna go and get the power back on.
Aww.
Look, I may or may not be back. I have the access code to the booth already, so once the power is on...
You should totally come see me. We could have fun. You know.
We'll see how it goes.
You need help.
You should sit down or something. Try to stay calm.
I don't want to be calm. I want to be nasty. I want to be nasty with you.
No, thank you.
Okay.
You could do anything you want. You can use my...
That's enough.
Let's not even go there. I was hoping that you'd remember more, but I guess that was too much to ask.
I have to remember where the radio is. Oh, there we are.
I was about to do the weather, but I see we have a caller. Hey, you're on the air with Eddie. What's up?
Hey, Eddie, it's Ricky. You talked about fate before. You think about...
Oh wow, we get an actual legit call.
Not a lot, to be honest, but I take it you do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Any conclusions you'd care to share, Ricky?
Well, we've got free will, right?
Listening to this,
That's
then
in the
I'll
Bible and everything.
start on my objective.
Yeah, right, sure.
So free will, right? Am I right? I mean, if we can do what we want, how can there be fate? I mean, you don't know what's gonna happen next, so there's no fate. There's just people doing stuff.
Well, I don't know, Ricky. I don't suppose you have considered the possibility that we're all here in the service of a greater purpose, incomprehensible to us, and that what we take to be freedom
What?
is nothing more than the move of a pawn on some cosmic chessboard, limited in scope, subject to the whims
And
of
it's happening to
unseen
his
players,
voice.
existing only for their entertainment.
or perhaps we're just a twisted reflection of actual events that can happen elsewhere. Could it be that such is life in Night Springs?
Well, that happened. Get off the chair.
Dude, what?
Is that the last part of the radio conversation? So dang, that came kind of late.
Are you getting it yet, genius?
Does it require 12 minutes? Hey, we have the sawed-off shotgun. Oh, and I like the submachine better. Submachine's really dang useful, so I'm gonna stick with that. Can I go up on the souvenir spot last time? Just quick running up here to see if there's like pages in there. Because I am trying to find all of those in one go. Oh, I needed to come. Oh yeah, this is where I got my crossbow. There's some.
I have changed. I know who I am now. I know that I can write my own fate. Bright Falls taught me that. I know that indulging my weaknesses, giving in to fear and complacency will only drag me down. The Dark Place taught me that. I'm no Zen master. I've not attained enlightenment. But I have learned to let go of the things that I don't need. I know that without that balance within, I become my own worst enemy. Now I strive for equilibrium, and with that, I'm strong enough to get where I want.
I see a page up ahead. Can all this just back off so I can do this?
It's obvious that for all his power, Mr. is an agent of another greater being. The dark place he came from is full of terrible alien intelligences, dark presences, and none of them should be let loose in our world. He serves one of them. He'll open the way for them if I don't stop him. But he'll do more. He'll take over my life. He already has my face. He already uses my name. He'll become Alan Wake in every way imaginable and corrupt everything. Unless I can stop him.
He's going down. We got this. And we gotta put one over here. Health and ammo.
You're like a little hamster in a wheel. Go ahead and keep running for all the good it'll do you.
Shut up. Right. Took care of all of them. Not the best fight, but it's over. No thanks. I like what I have. Oh, there's two. Oh, maybe that looks like a fence. There's one right around here. Take care of these first before I do this.
The dark place is utterly hostile to human life. It eats at your mind, wants you to succumb to madness. Your own thoughts can turn against you. Every shadow conceals a threat that attacks at the slightest sign of weakness. You're under endless assault. Every day is a struggle for survival. But I've learned to take care of myself. I focus on Alice, our life together, my need to be with her. That takes me a long way in the dark place. As long as I have my gun and the flashlight.
And please let's never lose those. There we are. Guess I'm missing the Grenadier, Mr. Scratch's trap, the plan. I think these remaining four are
For Serena
what I
Valdivia,
assume is
burning the
going to be a
midnight
third
oil
loop.
was more of an exception than a rule. A procrastinator and a perfectionist, she often worked when she wouldn't be disturbed. Tonight was especially important. The film festival would open tomorrow, and there was still so much to sort out. It wasn't that the work hadn't been done. She just didn't feel like she had completely mastered everything yet.
I know exactly what that's like. I too suffer from both being a procrastinator and also a perfectionist. It's not fun. I can't complete this. Eventually I'll figure out where those remaining pages are. Right now. Like, where was this again? Now let's go. This way. Yeah, I already went through this way. Oh gosh. Now let's just go back this way. I have to get back in there. Okay, that door is just decoration. Good to know. so this time it's the middle one. Yep, here comes all the roaches. Or this time it's not good. Oh. Hi, spiders. Okay, gonna need the sub. There's. Oh. Fudge. Directionally challenged? Yes, I am. This exit. Don't remember. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be trapped here forever. To the projector building, like I have any idea how to get out of this place. Maybe I do have to go back this way somewhere. Oh my gosh, help me. Or, oh, is this... Wow, I was already at the exit. Freaking incredible.
If you die, you lose. If you quit, you lose. If you make it to the end of the loop, you still lose. Sucker.
I know my battery's empty, it's just holding down on the right click even when battery's empty, it helps me out with aiming. And since the crossbow isn't to kill, I didn't bother swapping out batteries. I didn't go down this path, so I actually want to quick see if there's anything around here. It doesn't look like it. moving on. Hopefully I can pick up my last 3 pages. Don't know where they are. It's mildly irritating me. Game looks like on the computer of someone who can actually have decent frames per second. I have to wonder. Kinda like how I wonder what Overwatch looks like on someone who doesn't have the lowest possible graphics. I saw a page. Back to the spot. Come on, right. Let's do some page searching. There's one. Somewhere back here. I saw it. I saw that question mark. So there it is. Back. Which page it is? Plan. So I'm still missing.
I have created the weapon that can put an end to this. A blueprint to a new reality. All I have to do is survive long enough to use it. My arrival from the dark place will be painful and difficult. These pages may be lost. But one way or another, I'll send the parts I really need to myself. If I make it outside, I have a chance. Mr. is more powerful than I am, but he can't change the rules in the middle of the game. He's not a creator. I am.
Sucks to suck, Mr. Scratch. And there's a page over here. Mr. Scratch's trap.
The trap Mr. Scratch has set for me is as simple as it is impossible. Whenever I reach him, he sends me back to the beginning of the maze. It's a loop in time. I go through it only to end up where I started. There's a brutal genius to it. If I die, it's over for me. If I survive, I end up where I started. Sooner or later, the odds will catch up with me. And in the meantime, he gets to toy with me. But that's why I have a chance. He's caught in this pattern just as much as I am. I know where he'll be, and I'm prepared.
So now I just need that freaking Grenadier page. I cannot figure out what this one is. running this way a bit just to see if I can, like, I don't know, get it to ping somewhere on my dang radar. So I legit have no idea where this page is. And I think it's one that's actually been there since loop number 1. So I really do not know where it is. So that means I would have missed it twice now. Because I have a bad feeling I'll be ending this loop without that frickin' page. No idea where it is. Let's run out this way a bit. I know I should just get going, but it really bothers me that I don't have this page. Where is it? What's a gal gotta do to get this frickin' page? Wait, didn't I see something glowing over here? Maybe this is... I really could have sworn I saw something glowing. Like way before the cutscene thing activated. Dang, I have no earthly clue where that thing is. Oh, and there's a TV in here. See what Mr. Scratch has left for me this time.
I want to talk about Alice.
No, no,
Just
don't
look
you
at
dare!
She's really beautiful, isn't she?
You leave my
Your
wife
wife.
alone!
Well, our wife, really. Just my wife soon.
No.
Don't worry. I'm not gonna treat her like the others. She's special. If I wanted her dead, she would be. I've been around for a while now. So talented. You haven't seen her new work, of course. Oh, it takes my breath away. Really, she's that good.
I'm gonna strangle you. You leave Alice alone.
Did you know that I've got a wedding ring, too? We're that similar. She's seen me a couple times, you know. I've let her catch glimpses. She thinks she's imagining things, of course. She thinks you're dead. It might as well be. I mean, even if you manage to keep surviving, you'll be in my trap forever.
That's what you think.
So I'll go to her. It'll be an amazing moment. Oh my God, you're alive. I'll be the good, loving husband for as long as I can stand it. She'll love it. And then, one day, somehow, it'll happen. Maybe I'll slip up, and she spots something, or maybe she just starts running her mouth. And then, I'll do it.
Don't you dare. I did not fight my
It's
way
gonna
through
be
this frickin' dark
sweet.
place for you to murder her.
My darling wife.
She's not yours. If you come within even like 3 feet of her, I hope that she beats the crap out of you. Also, the subtitles are delaying again. It is driving me crazy that I don't know where this page is. I now understand how they feel in the Lost Libretto series when they could not find that page.
Champion of Light knows that the time itself is about to end. At least for him. He can feel the dead end rushing towards him. But there is time to act. Incomplete or not, he has the weapon.
I don't have the whole thing, but maybe it's enough.
It's not gonna be enough. We're gonna end up in the third loop. I can guarantee you that. So annoyed. Where is this page? It's late at night, the summer was almost over, there was a film noir poster visible, a spotlight illuminated the red fire extinguisher. Right. So let's... Sucks. That's good. It's not gonna be enough. We're gonna end up in loop 3, I'm telling you right now.
It's not enough.
Hopefully we can save Emma Sloan this time. Maybe on the next loop we will get the Grenadier.
You're trying to be cute, aren't you? What are you up to? It's a waste of time, buddy. You should just lie down and die. Let me take over. This is the only thing you've got coming to you. From here to eternity. No matter how many times you come back.
I am going to win. This scene again.
Time folds back on itself. Again, his senses scream as the very impossibility of what is happening assaults them. But the Champion of Light endures. Each time he gets a little closer. Each time another detail falls into place. Now the trap works against the Herald of Darkness.
Page near. No! Screw you, I'm picking up my page first.
Holy shit! What are you, the King Hillbilly?
Oh my gosh. Did I kill him? Sweet. Heck. Alright. So the page is right around here. Bingo! Oh sweet, I have 40 now, I can unlock the last gun. Oh, God's
Tor and Odin Anderson, old gods of Asgard. I still don't quite know what to make of them. I know they used to be rock stars who modeled their stage personas after Norse gods. I know they're old. I know that in their day they fought the darkness as I do. I know they're demented and insane, ravaged by age and self-abuse. But there's something in them, something powerful that took hold when they were touched by the powers beyond. A thing that goes far beyond just stage names. Something godlike.
I love the Andersons, they're freaking great. Good to move on. The fact that I don't have the Emma Sloan page concerns me, but you have a tendency to get pages semi out of order, so hoping this is one of those cases and that I haven't missed it.
Right on cue, bubbling to the surface from untold depths, the horrors come.
Of course.
The emerging monsters do not expect the warm reception that has already been prepared for them.
Oh! We have everything in place this time. Nice. So Emma went ahead and put everything into place. I wonder what that's going to mean manuscript-wise. And yeah, I guess that confirms that, no, the order you do these does not matter. And once again, the satellite crashes. Third time I've gotten to view this. Destruction again.
Next stop, saving Emma.
I don't want to accidentally end the loop prematurely. That feels bad.
Getting the Andersons into the recording studio was a struggle and a half. But once they actually picked up the instruments, something happened. They were two old men, and they weren't. They were doddering bags of bone, and they were barely contained power. And there was music. Barry rubbed his hands together. He knew how to pick a winner. Now all they needed was some direction on how to make things a little more modern. Barry had never produced a thing in his life, but he knew what he liked. He knew Balance Slays the Demon was going to be a hit.
Heck yeah. So I'm just missing 4 pages. Take the long way around to Emma. Already opened that before.
Is it bad that this time I just went, oh, he's gonna be right along to save my ass?
Not as long as I show up, I guess.
Oh my gosh, bless you, Emma. That was a great line. Oh my gosh, that was great. Everyone's just getting totally more chill as the time loops around, like, yeah, this thing's gonna happen now. But hey, I'm glad she views me as dependable, I guess. And give us swap out batteries. So like, that's the same. Right, I saw question marks, so I'm gonna quick have a look see. Just like are these in the building? Oh, that's right. I am gonna have to buildings. So.
I have seen the darkness twist flesh into new shapes before, but encountering these giants is an extremely disturbing experience. It's as if the genre has been switched on me. There's something out of Pulp Fiction. Twice as tall as normal men and stronger than forklifts, their lumbering gait and slow-witted demeanor brings to mind some kind of mean-spirited caricature of a feeble-minded hillbilly.
3 more to go. 3 more pages. And we'll have everything from the rest of the stuff. Now the real question is, are we going to be able to save Emma this time then? Because we have not had a good track record on saving Emma. Every single time the darkness freaking takes her.
So I've been thinking about Barry. I don't know what to do about him yet. I mean, I'm not gonna keep him around, that's for sure.
You leave Barry alone! He's literally the best character!
Ow! Ugh. Little parasite. Your best friend. Really? That's the best you can do. I actually kinda like the guy. He's a plucky little butterball. He plays the clown, that's a hard road to take. But I don't need him sticking his fat face in my business. Did you know he's been hanging out with the sheriff from that shitty little town? They keep in touch. Barry's about the only guy who insists that you're not dead. How about that?
Oh, so he hooked up with the sheriff.
I might keep him alive for a while.
A while?
Just to see him go to pieces when I fire his ass.
Oh, I so hope you're that. I so hope you're a final boss so that I can shoot you.
Yeah.
You don't get to fire my best friend. Nah. I'm gonna Mr. Scratch.
Emma wasn't sure exactly when the man arrived at the motel, but from what she could tell, the party started almost immediately. It was infectious, spreading from one room to another. He was mercurial, almost as if he was flickering through the scene, telling a joke here, throwing an insult there, oozing sex and violence and excitement. She had never seen someone like this before. He looked at her and smiled, and she felt her heart flutter a little.
Oh my gosh.
She knew he was the kind of man mothers warn their daughters about, but she told herself it didn't matter.
It does. Stay 50 feet away from him. He's bad. Yeah, where's the radio? I want to hit up that too. I mean, I'll have to go around the buildings and whatnot anyway after I talk to Emma. Still. Oops, I ended up back around here. Job. I think it was on the table somewhere back here. Yep, sure enough. Alright, let's listen to the radio, then I'll go talk to Emma. Hope I don't miss the last 2 pages.
Well, art lovers, are you feeling neglected? You shouldn't. You know Eddie Rodman's got love for you, which is why I actually hauled myself out of bed before noon, just so I could record an interview for your pleasure. Enjoy. Now, as I'm sure you all know, the annual Night Springs Visual Art Show is coming around again, and that's a big deal for all of us that are in the culture business. If you can call it a business, that's a little controversial, I know.
Oh, that's okay. Money makes the world go around, no doubt about it.
And that's one of my guests here at
It
the
is
studio,
Serena.
Valdivia. She's a curator at the Night Springs Gallery of Visual Arts, and she's in charge of the NSVA Film Festival, held this year at the old Night Springs Drive-In Theater.
Hello, Eddie. It's great to be here. And let me just say that it's a wonderful venue.
Absolutely. And with her is one of the filmmakers, somebody who's actually primarily known as a renowned photographer, Alice Wake.
Alice!
Hello.
Alice, I've seen a lot of your work over the years. It's very impressive. My wife's a big fan, actually.
Oh, thank you.
You've gained quite a bit of fame as a photographer, but that's not why you're here, right? You actually have a film. That's a little surprising.
Alice.
For me, too. I really wouldn't be here at all if it weren't for Serena.
You two are friends, I take it?
Yeah, we move in the same circles. So, about a year ago, I heard about all this footage she'd shot, and I got to see some of it, and then I started pestering her about actually putting it out there, because it was really good. I didn't really want to show it. It felt too personal.
Well, yes, I can understand that. It features your husband, and he's, well...
I'm alive, Alice.
He's dead.
No, I'm alive.
I thought he was missing.
It's been 2 years. This sounds awful, but yes,
No, I've been trapped in the dark place.
Otherwise he would have... Well,
I'm gonna find a way to you, Alice. I promise.
Yeah, I understand. Well, hold that thought, and we'll be right back.
I'm not gonna let Scratch lay a finger on you. I'm just missing 2 pages in this one.
Yeah, thanks for saving me again. I'd hate to die before I'm scheduled to be murdered.
I guess I have you to thank for setting everything up at the oil derrick.
Yeah, well, I figured that if we were going to go over this again, we might as well try to be smart about it, huh?
I appreciate it. You took a big chance doing that. You okay?
What do you think? I've died twice. I remember everything pretty clearly now. You said I was gonna be okay.
I don't know what happened.
It's not your fault. I think one of those, what did you call them? The takers? I think they did something to the power and they got me that way.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
But I got the keys from the dead guy in that room. And I'm not handing them over until you do something about this. I'm sick of getting killed.
I would be too.
You seem calmer now.
I tried freaking out. It didn't do much good for me. I guess you get used to the craziest stuff.
Good for you.
Plus, I figured I'd take the edge off, you know?
Mm-hmm. Those herbal supplements are pretty good, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Did she do pot?
I wanted to try to explain things to you now since you're calmer, but maybe this isn't the best time after all.
Is that what she meant by herbal supplements?
Oh, shit, yeah. Better not get all metaphysical on me now. Seriously, I'm like 2 sentences away from thinking how we could all be like atoms on God's skin or something.
Figments of somebody's imagination?
Wow. I'm just gonna try to chill out and not think about that or getting murdered or anything, if you're cool with that.
Gotcha.
Are you okay? Oh, flashbang. Emma, we can't return yet. I'm missing 2 pages. Where aren't these last 2 pages? Like, what the crap? Where are they? Where's the Emma Sloan page? Where's the Barry and the Old Gods page? Where are they? What do I have to do to freaking get my last 2 pages for this area? I want to get all the pages in one go. Come on. Don't do this to me. So tempted to Google, like right now. How do you get... Where are all the page locations in American Nightmare? It's like what would stink is if you weren't able to select. Oops. Oh well. I don't want to spend the entire night trying to figure out where these last 2 pages are, so I'm just gonna have to hope that there's like, I don't know, group select?
Okay. I really don't think they can get to the power now.
Thank you. That's a relief. Here's the keys that you needed.
Thank you.
Hey, I have to tell you, at the diner, I went there with him. The guy who looks like you, okay? I know I said that I didn't.
Yeah, I figured. Want to talk about what happened at the diner?
I still get to explore.
There was this guy from the observatory, and he just attacked the poor dude, smashed his face into the tabletop a bunch of times. It was horrible. I didn't know that he was gonna do that. I swear. And I just ran. I just left him there. I didn't even try to help.
There was nothing you could have done. It's not your fault.
Well, he's dead in that motel room now, so excuse me if I feel pretty shitty about it anyway.
Oh,
shouldn't blame yourself.
I just didn't want to get involved. I have this tendency to just drop everything and run. I don't think I'm a bad person, but I didn't even call the cops. I'm such a coward.
If you'd called the cops, we'd have dead cops. He's not human. Do you understand? It's not your fault.
But I could have tried to stop him.
You'd be dead.
Believe me, if you had, you'd be dead. You seem to be doing a little better now.
Yeah, I guess it just got easier once I got this thing off my chest. I just feel so guilty about it, especially because I didn't pick up on any of the warning signs. I just really liked hanging out with him, you know? He was smart and charming and funny and hot. The way you could be, I guess.
Yes.
What's the deal with this guy anyway? He looks like you, he uses your name. Why does he do this stuff?
I'm not sure myself. Maybe he's just evil or my dark half. He does a lot of the stuff I'm trying really hard to get away from. Things that just messed up my life.
I guess all those murders don't help either.
Yeah, I could do without the murders and the end of the world. Listen, I need to get going.
Yeah, go. I think I'm good now. I hope.
Good luck. If it all goes well, maybe this is the last time we meet like this.
God, wouldn't that be great?
Just keep those lights on, okay?
I'm still gonna explore all the rooms because screw everything. I want to see if I can still manage to get these last 2 freaking pages. Like, I have no earthly clue where they are. And I'm hoping that by, I don't know, just running around a bit, I'll see a ding on the radar. I'm starting to have a feeling it's not gonna happen. Looks like I'll be hopefully just replaying this part later. I'm hoping that, like, you can load from, like, a chapter select. So much for getting all the pages.
The fate of
still missing that
countless
freaking
individuals
Grenadier
hangs in
one,
the balance,
so.
threatened by the machinations of the Herald of Darkness. And yet, for a moment, the Champion of Light breathes a little easier. He has saved one life. For this moment, it is enough. And soon, perhaps, he can put an end to this.
I do hope I get all the observatory pages at least. Oh, and I'm gonna be able to open up the last lockbox.
Returning to the observatory for what he hopes is the final time, the man feels anticipation and dread in equal measure. Soon, he knows, he will have what he needs.
So I just have to go through the observatory one more time. Go through, drive in one more time. I don't know, maybe there will be like a final boss.
Hello, I was expecting you. I've already taken care of the imaging array, but you should still look into securing the primary coolant flow. With some luck, you may be able to light the area before these things even show up.
Thanks, Doc. that I'm wasting ammo. Just... It's not hard, and honestly, I just... Oh sweet, it went through. Nice. That was great. That was a great shot. Good job, Alan. Now I am gonna try to save this. Here for more. Do flashbangs. Eat flashbang, please. Oh, fudge. Oh my gosh. You all just back the heck off. Flashbang, please. Take care of these two shits. Am I done yet? Through here or... Oh, I can't. Sweet. Right. That takes care of the coolant.
Very good. I believe we're ready to look into the sky.
No, we're not. I have pages to look for. I will not be right there. I am going to look for pages, gosh dang it. And I still have to open that black box. So I can unlock the last gun. I have to access the radio. Wherever it is. I at least want to get that because I want to get all the radio shows. I'm gonna be really mad if I've been blocked off if I continue. Oh, when did I get that?
The film noir poster reminded me of Alex Casey, the detective's cool exterior never cracking even with the gun pointed in his face. In the back room, all the lights had been turned off, except for the lone spotlight which illuminated the bright red fire extinguisher on the wall.
Oh, okay. I understand.
This act of
that.
creation
You
is
get those
exhilarating
each time.
and frightening.
Yeah. Okay.
Subtext and symbols loom eager to take effect. Causality and consequence become domino chains that stretch into infinity. The more fundamental the change, the more unpredictable the variables become. Reality is too complex to control completely. Ordinary questions become meaningless. Who created who? What is really real? Everything is as real as everything else. You learn to let go of the things you can't control and go with the flow, or go insane.
So, I'm gonna get Dr. Meadows and Mr. Scratch, hopefully, but New Reality Fragment 3, I get that from, that's the signal. So I get it at the end of the chapter on that. So I really only have one more page to get this. Just one page, and I need to remember where the heck the radio is. I kind of remember where it is, but I don't remember what building it is. Not combat shotgun. Okay, much as I like the crossbow, I do want to try it. That is a shotgun. Is this a shotgun? I want to stick with the crossbow. I like my crossbow. Even if I'm not always the best at aiming with the crossbow, I freaking love it. Right? You need to stop spawning splitters. Oh my gosh. Flashbang. Fudge. That didn't work. think that's actually the building I want. Right over there. How do I get it? Just have to hope that I can decide. Freaking splitters. that's what I'm trying to find. Because the last page might be in the building. But I really want to get all the radio stuff. I think it's... Yep.
Thanks for tuning in for the second part of our interview with Serena Valdivia and award-winning photographer Alice Wake. Now, Alice, we were talking about your husband, Alan Wake. Is that a sore subject for you?
Well, a little bit. Of course it is. The way I see it, we had our good times and our bad times, and on the whole, we had a lot of good times. He really made me happy. I don't mind being reminded of him.
I'm sorry, Alice.
So you're over him?
I don't know if I'll ever be that, entirely. I still think about him every day, literally. I still find myself hoping for... Well, sometimes I think I see him just standing somewhere, watching me. I think most people who lose someone they love experience things like that. But on the whole, I'm doing all right. 2 years is a long time to adjust, and I'm not really the type to wallow in the negative.
I know there are a lot of stories about him. He seemed to have something of a wild streak.
That's not really what our show is about right now. Look, all that stuff really gets blown out of proportion. He had his problems, but it's really frustrating for me because people like to talk. They love to tell these crazy stories, and they never really knew him at all.
Well, the character Alex Casey is a TV series, a movie, a video game. Must be nice to know his work is still being appreciated by so many readers. That would be Barry Wheeler. Actually, I just interviewed him. He's currently in the music business. And he's also Alan's best friend. Do you two keep in touch?
We talk regularly. Like I said, he handles the business side. I think we should talk about her film.
Yes, of course, you're right. I'm Eddie Rodman, talking to Alice Wake and Serena Valdivia.
I love how I had to spend so much of that shooting at enemies because apparently they decided to frickin' attack me. My gosh. Can't I frickin' listen to a radio show in peace? Still, Alice. Dang it, I want a happy ending for them. Probably gonna end up missing this last page because that seems to be happy with me with this. Probably end up having to redo like the entire third loop.
Come on in.
And now time to see the latest message from Scratch.
This is what you look like. Does that bother you? I bet it does. I'm not just wearing your face, you know. It goes a lot deeper than that. There's a lot of you and me. All the best parts.
I think you mean the worst parts. Definitely the worst parts.
At first, I was just an idea. But they kept telling all those stories about you. You already had that rep. And then you disappeared mysteriously. And then the stories about bad, crazy Alan Wake came true. And here I am. That's the best part, isn't it? When that happens, you can always count on Cauldron Lake.
You can go screw yourself.
I'm just as real as you are. And I'm the improved version. No fears, no doubt, no weaknesses, no self-deception here. I don't let anything drag me down.
Oh, I want to punch your face.
I know you like I know myself. I know it bothers you that I'm like this, that I use your name, crawl my way into your life. But I only do it because
you're a douchebag.
I'm better at being you than you ever were.
Ah, that's a dang nice music. What? Oh, that's buddy.
There, I have it. But I wish these things would stop blatantly violating the laws of physics in my observatory. That's just rude. I'll
live.
I'm glad. I'll send the lift down to you.
Oh my gosh, that's a great.
Previous encounters very clearly now. But technically, if this really is a loop in time, we've never met before. I don't know why our awareness persists, but it's bloody fascinating.
Doctor?
You know, I know physicists who would give 15 years of their lives for a chance to experience something like this.
I'd imagine that being stalked by horrible axe murderers would curb their enthusiasm a little.
Clearly you've never met hardcore physicists.
I'm glad you're in such good spirits, but...
The signal! Yes, it's completed.
Finally.
Oh man. We have the full thing now.
This should be the last time we go through the loop.
You know, I just realized that I don't have any memory of what happens after you leave. What does that mean?
I don't think it means anything. If everything goes well, you just keep going. I don't show up here like this again, no more bad guys. Things go back to normal.
Let's hope you're right. I'd love the opportunity to look into this in more detail.
Looks like you've accepted the situation.
I'm a pragmatist. If this is a delusion, at least my first psychotic episode is anything but boring. Really, Mr. Wake, at the end of the day, I'm a scientist. I love mysteries. I love not knowing. Whatever else this might be, it's absolutely fascinating. I wonder how far this reaches. Is everybody in the world experiencing this?
Who knows? I think reality's probably pretty fragile right now. Doctor, I can see you're very enthusiastic about this. I'd appreciate a bit of discretion.
Are you suggesting that we should suppress this?
No. You can do what you like, but I want you to leave me out of it.
But surely, with the things you know, the things you've experienced, you can replicate any of these results. We could...
Let me be blunt. If you drag me into this, I'll deny everything. I'll lie like my life depended on it. And writers are damn good liars. Word of advice. This is things man was not meant to know territory. You get into this, chances are you'll open up a door into a world of hurt. Believe me, I know.
I see.
Yeah, lady, trust me, you don't want to be in on all this.
In a strange way, he feels at ease. He is armed with his own words, and when the time comes, they will be enough, or they will not. For now,
yep, I did miss one
he's
page.
content to let the
So
currents
I'm
take him
missing 2 from
toward
the rest stop,
the
1
final
from the
confrontation.
observatory. I'm missing 1 from the dragon, and I'm probably gonna miss at least 1 more. Because that just seems to be how things go. Back to Ham the documentary! I'm sorry, but that still cracks me up.
Once more, we return to the
best one of
drive-in.
that.
If he's aware of the absurdity of arming oneself with a few sentences and standing against a power that can pierce time itself, he doesn't show it. The man has his share of weaknesses, perhaps more, but cowardice is not among them.
So radio, TV, and as many pages as I can get.
Oh, you got yourself a little plan, do you?
Yeah, I do. You're going down this time. Wow, King Long is that loud. Right, I seem to be clear for now. Let's take a look, see now. Nice zooming. And I love flare gun ammo, so I'm gonna set that. Flashbang. This time it's just right. Once again, back through this maze.
Never getting out of this wake, never! Don't worry, I'll take care of your wife and your life.
Yeah, no.
You're starting to sound a little desperate.
Taking me down. What is it with this game? I'm really touching music. If there's any time to use a flare gun, I think it is. Oh my gosh. fudge. Man, can't believe I'm almost done with American Nightmare. Gosh, I wish there was an Alan Wake too. I want an Alan Wake 2 so bad. These games are so good.
You think you're doing, but I'll send you right back to the beginning.
Someone's pissy. Seriously? Over here. Serena and Mr.
When the dark man's eyes suddenly locked into Serena's, she flushed hot. They ignited a black fire in her. He was talking. He wanted the power turned off. He said something about the projector booth. She hooked a finger under his belt buckle. He grabbed a hold of her throat and twisted until it hurt. Somewhere deep inside, a part of her screamed in paralyzed horror, but the moan that escaped from her throat had no panic in it. "Pay attention," he said. "Business first." His eyes glittered shamelessly. Hers did too.
Dang. Beam, the clothes, Alice's phone. And of course, that one.
I'd found her film from the pile of containers in the back. I'd threaded it into the projector. I swallowed hard, staring at the screen, hearing her voice, the sunrise I remembered so well only moments away. And then Mr. was there, nailed by the projector's beam, caught in his own trap. He shouted at me, first in confusion, then rage. And then the sun came up and things started to burn.
Oh ho ho ho! Oh, this is good. Oh, I'm so looking forward to that. He's going down. I came this way first, but where's the direction I came from? Because I'm pretty certain that I saw another. Pretty certain I saw. Yep, there's one that's up here. Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to deal with the wells again. What a shock!
What? You think whatever it is you're gonna do is gonna make a difference? This'll end up just like before!
No, it won't, because I've got the last piece of the freaking puzzle. Back to this. Yep. Okay, I'll come back to this building. Get stuff. I want to deal with all the enemies first. Wow, there's more than that. Gosh dang. Right beyond my tail. Dodge my way out of all of this. My terrible brain just for a second. And there we go then, at least I can go back, get that TV, get that page, hopefully find the radio that I do not remember where. Oh, it's back in the building with Serena. But we haven't been to Serena, so. We cannot enter the projector building. We have things that I need to do first. So just take a chill pill, gang. Take a chill pill. Somehow I have to get back to building with Serena. Because, yeah, it's up there. Which, yeah, it's a bit of a detour, but I want to get the last portion of the radio show. Who knows, maybe I'll run into pages.
I've been around for a while now, you know? While you've been indisposed, stuck in the darkness, I've been busy. I operate in the shadows. Not always literally, you understand. I'm a little more resilient than those I've taken. But I do my best work in the dark.
So there's still 3 possible.
And there's so much darkness out there. It
You
goes
need
deep.
help.
And the things that live in it are vast, big bastards. They don't mind getting a little bit of elbow room. All that chaos and madness, it doesn't really do that much down there. It's like pouring a glass of water into the ocean, right? But up here, yeah, you can really make an impact. All they need is someone to bring them all the way through. But first, I had to take care of you. You party pooper.
These subtitles are so delayed again.
You're stuck in an eternal cycle now. The sun's never coming up for you. Everything else? Do my thing. Getting a bit of quality time with Alice. That's a little something for me.
I'm going
and
to
I
beat your
deserve it.
face in. I have to get back to it. Quick we make a little bit of a detour again. I want the last bit of the radio show. Is this building? It's the building. Who knows, maybe I'll get one of the 3 pages I still need. Oh, dun dun dun, there's a page back here. See? Detouring. It's not a bad thing. Oh, I see it right up there. So many cacti. Bingo. There we are. Alright, time to read some pages.
There's more to fighting the Taken than just burning away the darkness that protects them. When I'm fighting for my life, I find myself slipping into a state of intense concentration that makes the beam of my flashlight seem more powerful and focused. I used to think it was just my imagination, something brought on by the adrenaline and fear of death, but now I'm not so sure. I've been touched by powers that I can't begin to truly comprehend, and they've left a mark. I'm starting to think this might be a part of it.
And Alice's phone.
I held the film canister in my hands. I saw her name written across it in big letters, followed by the title. It was a time capsule, moments snatched from times gone by, from a past that I hoped could also be our future. It was my salvation, our chance to be together. A tin can with a bit of magic in it that she didn't even know about, something I could put to good use. There were only moments left before I had to face him.
Page on the other side over here.
The clothes I wear now
still
are
don't know
shaped
where
from
that one
dreams
is.
and memories. It's an old outfit, originally from the 90s. The last time I wore it was when I was still writing and Alice and I took a vacation in the desert before our troubles began. The night before, we'd been at a party, and I had dressed to the nines. On that lazy day, I put on these old clothes, worn and comfortable. Alice made a joke about grunge. I felt a little embarrassed, but I stuck with them. We were very happy. I'm sheathed in good memories to remind myself of what is at stake.
Dang it, I want you two to get a freaking happy ending. You are not mentally sound still.
Hello, folks, and welcome to the third part of our pre-recorded interview with Serena Valdivia and renowned photographer Alice Wake. So, tell me about the film.
It's called Sunrise, and it really wasn't something I ever thought of as an actual film. It was just footage, things I saw and happened to shoot. It's not a medium I'm very much at home with.
You shouldn't put yourself down. You've got a great eye.
Maybe, but experience is another thing.
Because you're primarily a still photographer.
Yes, exactly. So I'm really used to thinking of the world in terms of snapshots. I frame something and try to pick the right moment, and then reveal that moment to people. Moving images are a different story. I'm still learning a lot about it, to be honest.
So, this is a new thing for you?
Or maybe I'm just a slow learner. But showing it like this is definitely a new step for me. It's a little weird taking something this intimate and showing it to everybody. Not that the material itself is somehow shocking. It's just that those were private moments. But that's why it works, because it feels genuine. It's not so much a story as it is a sort of an echo, showing us how you saw your husband at the time. It's not really about the sunrise itself or Alan watching it. It's about you two together.
Aww.
I suppose. It's funny, looking at it now, especially now that it's been edited like that. It takes on a life of its own, almost. It's a kind of a fantasy. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. No, you're right. I'm glad you talked me into it.
Just got the end of it. Alice. Dang it, I am going to find a way back. Oh, hello, I can switch sides.
Oh, hey.
I'm hoping I can put an end to this now.
You'd better. I really don't want that to happen to me again. It's like somebody vomited in my brain, like a sleazy movie that keeps looping in my head.
Yeah, I forgot to do this
Stop this, I
last week.
swear.
Whoops.
You know the part that's really screwed up? If you mess it up, it'll just keep happening forever, right? I don't think I can deal with that.
Don't think about that.
I don't think of anything but.
Hey, afterwards, when all this is done, look me up. This thing, I can probably help you deal with it.
I don't know. It's almost like I'm not even in the same world anymore. Everything's just weird now.
Yeah, I know. A lot of that'll pass with time. But being touched by the darkness, it's rough on you. It's a lot to process. And I just don't want you to get completely screwed up by this.
Might be a little late for that, to be honest.
Yeah, well, there's degrees. At least you're not at a point where you go around picking fights with people over not changing their light bulbs often enough.
What?
Never mind. All I'm saying is, you're not alone with this. And anyway, you're friends with Alice, so, you know, any friend of hers.
Thank you.
Sorry that I forgot to help you out on the last loop. Now we'll just have to get the Grenadier page on some replaying. I don't feel like tearing around this landscape trying to figure out where the crap it is. I don't see how this ends. Especially since there's no Alan Wake 2, so this is like the most we get for an ending.
Again, the Champion of Light enters the final trap. The new reality is almost here. All he needs to do is change the details of the scene, push it past the breaking point, and the rest will snap into place.
I'll just film this in the project. Change the poster. To change the time. Change the calendar. Last but not least. Figure out where the heck I put this in. No.
Oh, come on, buddy.
Treatment unlocked. Rewrite
Why
reality
don't
for
you...
the last time.
What? What is this? No! No!
Haha. I win.
You can't do this! All I did was take the things you always wanted and never had the balls to go for. It's my turn now. It's my life. It's my
Alan? Is it really you?
It's really me.
I love you.
I love you.
A woman, a man, two lovers, held apart for
So
far
wait,
too
am
long.
I actually free from like the dark place and
light
with that?
of glorious
Alan
dawn.
actually gets to be with Alice now?
They both feel it. He's home at last.
Yes!
Are these actual events or merely a dream?
No,
A
no.
memory?
They have
or
to
a
be actual
glimpse of what
events.
is to
Please,
come?
don't do that to me.
One thing is certain. This scene takes place in another time and another place.
Dang it, game! You
far
can't
away.
do that to me!
From Night Springs.
Hi, Retro. Sorry. Come on, game. You can't do that to me. Well, since there's no freaking Alan Wake 2, I am just going to take that as that's reality. They're back together. I'm just gonna accept it as that. So yeah, that wraps it up. On a quick see. Oh yes, replay scenes. Okay, thank heavens. Yeah. So yeah, that was Alan Wake, American Nightmare. I'm going to briefly stop stream here. Probably resume it in a few moments. I just want to archive this footage. I actually got almost all the manuscript pages, unlike in its predecessor, so that's nice. But yeah, I'll be back on soon. See you in a little bit. So no wait, because I'm just gonna end up coming back to this anyway.